Hi, I'm Bill Snyder, Sports Information Director at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. It's Friday night, time for another Bulldog Blitz. And last night, the Bulldogs took on Southwest in a key MACJC South Division game and came out with a 48-7 win, ran for a bunch of yards, had about 5 turnovers. Special teams played well. Not quite a perfect game, but pretty complete, and a big victory, a needed one in the division. Coach, congrats.
Well, thank you, Bill. It was a good game last night. Both sides played extremely well. I was very pleased with our play on offense. We were able to run the football. Defense played great. Pitched a shutout in the first half again for the second week in a row. Got us a lot of turnovers, which set up a lot of our touchdowns in the first half. And kicking game did well, set up some turnovers as well, and did a good job on all of our coverage units. So all in all, it was a good team victory.
And the Bulldogs go to 6-1 overall and 3-1 in the division. And, of course, we talked after the game last night, Coach. As nice as the victory was, everybody contributed. Still not the perfect game. Of course, there's maybe never a perfect game, but you still want to be peaking, right, as we go along.
That's right. We're getting better each week. We've made some improvement. I thought we made a lot of improvement from last week to this week. We got better in the red zone. Was able to capitalize and put some touchdowns on the board as opposed to field goals. When we did get turnover down in the red zone, we were able to punch it in and score. A couple of them were one-play scores, which we needed that to be able to put touchdowns on the board early to create some separation. We still haven't played the perfect game. We'd gone 2 weeks in a row with 0 turnovers. Last night we put the ball on the ground once and threw 1 pick, which we don't like the turnovers, or we probably could have put more separation in there. But the guys played extremely hard, gave real good effort. We had a good week of practice, and you could see some of the things that we had worked on showing up on game day, and that's what you always want to see, is that improvement each week. And I think we did that last night. We improved. Southwest is a good football team. They'd won a couple of games. They'd played, come to find out, Hines is we knew Hines was a real good football team, but Hines is a good football team, and they had played Hines to a 20-point game the week before. Hines came back and beat Jones last night. So, Southwest is a very formidable opponent. They're explosive on offense. We didn't give up the big play, which I was glad to see that we kept everything in front of us. And offensively, we were able to put some drives together and show some explosiveness. And so there were a lot of good things, but there's still some meat left on the bone to go get, this next week.
Yeah, that meat on the bone quote's been lingering in my head, but we cleaned it up pretty good. Foggy outside this morning, but the Bulldogs weren't foggy last night in a 48-7 win. Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at all those explosive plays with Gulf Coast and Southwest. That's coming up right after this.
Hi, I'm Megan, and I'm going into nursing field, and I came to JD because it's very close to my house, and I figured that if I just want to do my basics, I can just go to university later.
Well, first the college, I picked the college that's really close to home. My dad worked at Chevron, and he always told me about it, got me really interested.
And it's close enough to home to where I still get a really great college experience, but I still feel like this is my home, like this is a place that I can be comfortable.
Gulf Coast coming out last night with the white helmets, navy jerseys, and white pants. A really contemporary style and look to go up against Southwest. The action started midway through the first quarter. Terrian Page had a pass intercepted deep in Southwest territory, but a couple of plays later, Gulf Coast got in on creating some turnovers. Phelan Booker recovered a fumble, and right after that, Tweezy Wells went in from 3 yards out, making it 7-0. So right there, had some adversity, then capitalized on a turnover. So right then, that was a huge momentum swinger.
It was. Whenever we were able to get the turnover there, and then Antoine cashed it in with a touchdown, that was big. And, the whole game evolves around turnovers, eliminating them on offense, creating them on defense. And defense did a great job creating some turnovers, setting us up in real good field position, and then we were able to cash in on them. So that was big.
That wasn't the first we heard of Phelan Booker. We'll talk about that here in a minute. A nice run by T.R. Page, who got another start at quarterback, ran about 45 yards. That set up another Antwan Wells touchdown, a 9-yarder, making it 14-zip. Then Booker came through again big, a fumble in the backfield. He scooped it and almost scored it. He went 65 yards, but got walked down right around the 12-yard line, which set up Antwan Wells' third touchdown. So it's 21-0 at that point. We've already got 2 turnovers and cashed in on those. And what can you say about Phelan Booker being Johnny on the spot, recovering both those fumbles? Thought he might be able to take it to the house, but, those big linemen, it's tough for them to make it all the way down.
Yeah, he did a great job, had a great run. Phelan is a young man that's gotten better every week. He's a guy that tremendous work ethic. Phelan's an outstanding student and a great football player, and he's a guy that epitomizes what you talk about, go out and get better each day. He's a guy that stays after practice, works on his pass rush technique, and he's an outstanding pass rusher, and he makes things happen. He's got a lot of those Trey Wofford qualities that, a lot of times when Phelan's in there, good things happen, and he created 2 huge plays for us last night, and much needed, and but got us on a run. We talk about we're a team of runs. We got on a run again and was able to put some points on the board, so that was really huge for us.
Booker also has 4 sacks on the year heading into the game. So it was 21-0 at that point. Then a little bit later, the offense got in on the act again. Tweezy had 3 touchdown runs. Then Page hit Marlon Pope in the back of the end zone with a touchdown, making it 28-0. And not to give too much of our offense away, but this year we've seen a lot more activity from the tight end in the passing game. It seems like in the past, maybe we threw to him 1 or 2 times a year. We've already gone to the tight end several times. So I guess, is that bringing in just another aspect without getting too deep in the play?
Yeah, Marlon's got outstanding hands. We've got good receiving tight ends. Marlon can catch a ball. Easton Marshall catches the ball well out of the backfield, and Blake Miley's a big target. We haven't gone to Blake yet, but he's a big receiving tight end that can really do a lot of things. And, I think TR feels comfortable throwing the ball to the tight ends. TR has a great arm with a lot of zip on it, and that's what you got to do to throw the ball to the tight end, because it's a lot of times it's in traffic, and TR's got a cannon of an arm, and he really does a good job of throwing the ball to the tight ends in those tight windows. And Marlon does a good job of catching the ball in traffic, and that was 2 big plays last night that helped us.
Yeah, so it was 28-0 at that point. Then Tristan Reynolds tacked on a field goal, making it 31-0. The first of his 2 field goals. We'll talk about Tristan in just a second. So it was 31-0 at halftime. Feeling pretty good. We really had a big run, as you call it, there in the second quarter to put some space between us and Southwest.
Yeah, it was 7-0, I believe, at the end of the first quarter, and wasn't feeling real. We were kind of spitting and sputtering offensively, and then we got to turnovers and were able to capitalize on some things. And I think we had a 24-point second quarter, which was big. We were able to get on a run. I was glad to see us when I guess we got a turnover there with about 2 minutes to go before the half. Was able to execute some things and move the ball down to get us a field goal right before the half. Was glad to see, TR did a great job of executing the 2-minute offense right before the half to give us a chance to score a touchdown. But Tristan came in, converted the field goal, was proud to see that. So there were a lot of things that we had emphasized, put a lot of work into, that the guys really did a great job, came out and executed and did a good job, got us points before the half, which was big.
Yeah, so it was 31-0 in halftime. Third quarter, Southwest does get on the board with a touchdown run, making it 31-7. Then a Justin Evans interception set up Rod Williams, who came in and played well in the second half, busted through the hole for 14 yards to make it 38-7. And then the big highlight of the game, down on the 2 in the fourth quarter, Williams goes 98 yards, sets a new Gulf Coast record for longest run from scrimmage. The old one was 96. He went 98. And it looked like he covered that in about 6 seconds. And you talk about an explosive play. That's your, poster child for that.
Yeah, that is the poster child for explosive plays, a 98-yarder. And in the history of football, you can only go 1 more yard than that. So that was pretty good little play there. Did a great job we knew that Southwest, they're a blitzing defense. They're a very aggressive defense.
They did blitz a lot.
Yeah, So if you can break through and get into the the second and third level, you got a chance to take it to the house. And Rod's got outstanding speed. I mean, he is a speed guy, and you're not going to catch him once he breaks free. And you know, so that was a big play for us. Gave us a big boost. I believe that made it. What did that make it? 45 or yeah. And you know, that was really good from there. Anytime you not only change field position, you scored a touchdown. We were trying to punch it out, you know, initially, but with Rod's explosive speed, he was able to take that thing to the house. And good job of blocking up front. We were in our heavy set, and they had everybody down, and really, you know, Rod did a great job of navigating through the line of scrimmage and then just shot out like a cannon.
Yeah, his first step there, once he hits the hold, is pretty impressive to watch. And then Reynolds hit a 45-yard field goal. That's a season long for Tristan. He's made his last 4 field goals in a row, and he was 6 for 6 on extra points. So you see the confidence coming with Tristan now down the stretch when we really need it. He seems to be really in a nice groove right now.
Yeah, you know, that's a very encouraging right now at this time of the year, because, you know, we're counting on a lot of young guys. You know, TR is getting better each week, had some great plays with his feet. Tristan, like I say, hit his last 4 field goals, doing a good job on his kickoffs. Rod Williams showing some explosiveness there, freshman. Phelan Booker with the big plays, freshman. Last week, Swain with the sack, Bingham with the scoop and score, freshman. You know, there's a lot of young guys stepping up, and that's what you got to have at this time of the year. It's not the team that's the number one team at the beginning of the year. It's the team that gets better and this group's been, you know, they've been battle tested. We've been in some close football games, and the freshmen are really coming on and getting some great leadership out of the older guys who are playing extremely well, and we're starting to gel.
Yeah, and ran for 450-something yards last night. We came in averaging 295, which isn't bad at all, but to double that up, and, you know, that's really got to make you feel good knowing that our ground game is in pretty good shape right now heading down the stretch. Yeah,
you know, you've got to be able to to run the football to win a championship. And, you know, nowadays with the way teams are throwing the ball all over the field, you know, a lot of times your best defense is to help keep that offense on the sideline. And if you can run the football, it wears down a defense and it keeps the other team on the sideline. And we've got some great backs. The receivers are running the ball a lot too. You know, Ish had some good runs. Jeremy Cottrell had a couple of good runs. Lee Redeemer on the reverse made a guy miss. And, you know, so we didn't throw the ball around the park as much, but the receivers are getting involved in the run game, doing a great job blocking and doing a good job on their sweeps of running the football. The tight ends are getting involved, as you say, in the pass game. So, you know, with a lot of young guys and, you know, TR coming in as a straight freshman playing a lot, we kind of see us evolving and gaining an identity a little bit offensively and figuring out who can do what and what everybody's best assets are, and we're getting closer and closer.
Yeah, so it's a 48-7 win. We've won 7 straight now over Southwest dating back to 2006. And another big win in the South Division. Now, coming up after the break, we'll have a player profile segment for you. We'll go over to the defensive side of the ball. Heading into the break, we'll look at the scoreboard from last night. Only 3 games. Of course, our game, East Mississippi won, and then a bit of an upset if you think about the rankings. Of course, it's not if you know how the South Division goes, as Hines defeats Jones up in Ellisville. You're watching Bulldog Blitz.
Programs here, they don't just give you the basic knowledge of the program, they teach you how to work with a client and go out in the real world.
All of my instructors have been a great help for me.
One-on-one experience that you need, and just always there to help you out when you need it.
You get that one-on-one interaction with your teacher. The teachers are very welcoming.
I really like the idea of being able to go to a smaller student-to-teacher ratio.
They teach you how to be confident, and that's a very useful skill that you can apply to anything.
And welcome back to Bulldog Blitz. Time now for our player profile segment, and we'll go over to the defensive side of the ball and check in with sophomore Derek Moncrief.
The coaching staff, you know, that players getting to the next level, and, you know, just championship-wise, they're the best team in the nation, so that's what brought me here. Yeah, chemistry is the biggest part of, being on a football team together, especially, playing defensive back. You have to communicate a lot, on and off the field, that's very, very important. We've just been working ever since January, and we've been getting it in, so we'll be ready this year. That was my main objective, just to get the recruiting out the way and just focus on school and the championship this year so we can make a run. And we'll be better this year, a year in experience, that's real big. So we have, we have great chemistry with each other and, bringing young guys in, they'll be ready to. Looking back last year, what we had, we could have did, and, we can be a way better team than we were last year.
And Coach Derek, he was injured for a couple of games, had ankle issues, but last couple of games he's come back and, having that kind of sophomore leadership back there. We've seen Cavellis Luckett and Trey Wofford, some of those guys. Just having one extra in there really helps, and it also helps that he's a heck of a football player.
Yeah, it does. Derek's an outstanding football player, big physical, outside linebacker, strong safety that, he kind of tilts the field in your direction when he's out there. And, when he's not out there, you miss his, not only his playmaking ability, but his leadership and his attitude and all the stuff that Derek brings with him that makes him a great player. So it's great having Derek back out there. He really brings something to the defense and to the whole team. And, really proud of all that Derek's been able to accomplish on the football field. And he's slated to graduate at Christmas, which is outstanding. He'll have his 2-year degree in a year and a half, and he's committed to Auburn. And look forward to not only watching him play here and hopefully help us win a championship and continue on to all the things that we're doing this season, but he's a guy that's going to play a lot of football in the future.
Somebody with his size, where he plays, I guess you call him a hybrid, but with the spread offenses, he's almost a perfect fit for that. Somebody that can be a linebacker, but that can also cover in pass routes. Right?
Yeah. Derek is the term is long. He's tall. The NFL guy, whatever you talk about, the length. He's got a lot of length to him, which you put him out over a number 2 guy, and he's got long arms. He makes quarterback be perfect on vertical routes. He's physical on all that sweep read stuff that everybody's running since Cam Newton, the run the sweep and then the quarterback run the power. He really does a good job of setting the point of attack on the outside there. And he's got a lot of God-given tools that just with his size and strength, and he's a very dedicated football player that is good to have on our side.
Coming up after the break, we will go back to the grease board. Chalk Wars Part 3. It's Coach Campbell and Coach Davis. Stay tuned for that. Heading into the break, this week's NJCAA Top 10, the Bulldogs moved up a couple of spots to number 8. You're watching Bulldog Blitz. You're watching Bulldog Blitz, sponsored this season by Raising Cane's, Jack's Home Improvement, The Shed in Gulfport, and the Whistle Stop in Wiggins. Now, back to more Bulldog Blitz. Join us for Homecoming 2013 at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, October 17th through the 19th. 3 fun-filled days of activities are scheduled, including the Athletic and Alumni Hall of Fame induction ceremonies on Thursday, the Clem Dellinger Alumni Golf Tournament on Friday, and a homecoming day packed with all kinds of activities, highlighted by the big game between Gulf Coast and Co-Lan. Call us at 601-528-8900 or log on to our website for more information on Homecoming 2013 at Mgccc.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to try to take care of 5. All right, involving the super back, they got 3 and 3. He's going to take care of the 6th guy. So we're zoning up. We always count numbers. If Steve's a 6-man box, all right, I'm going to have my 5-0 lineman and at least a super back to take care of his 6-man box. If he starts involving a dog coming off the edge, then I need to put in a tight end because now he's got 7 guys and I ain't got but 5, 6 including the super back. I see a lot of times people, it's just, I don't know that philosophy. I'm sure it works. But with me, I'll see sometimes somebody running inside zone and they got 7 guys in the box and you ain't got but 5 blockers. You understand you're reading one of them, but the other guy. So we always make sure we got enough for ever how many they got -1. The -1, the quarterback can read. He's a 6-man box. He's a 6-man box. I got 5, 6. I'm in good shape if I'm not reading. We'll start off with no read. We're just going to run inside zone. Here, us the Mike. I got the B gap, who's probably going to be the wheel, and I'm kicking out the backside. We're hitting it A to A right there.
Don't get outnumbered, don't get out leverage. Eliminate gaps inside out. This A gap should not be there because our shaded nose should be taking that A gap away. Boom. Same thing over here. If that guy releases inside, our defensive end should squeeze him so that he cannot get kicked out by that super back or fullback. And then it's Jimmy's and Joe's. I got my gap. I got my gap. Everybody's responsible for a gap. Do your job.
Everybody's got their gap. So now we're going to run inside zone. Quarterback read the end. If that end squeezes, quarterback's going to pull it, disconnect. Let's get outside. Super. Don't kick him out. Let's wrap and seal the linebacker. He squeezes, he scrapes, wrap, and seal. Now you can do what you want to out here. We got a lot of different things that we'll do out here. We will bubble this guy, and if he comes down, sling the bubble out here. If you got a quarterback that can do that, some years we do, some years we don't. All right? Or you can block this. If this guy's a great runner, all right, you can go ahead and tell him to block him, and let's go. If this is your great player, we'll bubble him, pull it out, and let's see what he does, and then sling it out there.
This guy's going to read. If he gets a down block, he's in a run scheme. Face here. The key is he can't take off to stop this or take off to stop the bubble. He's got to stay at home and read whatever happens when the ball's thrown.
Next thing, if this guy is whipping us, we can't make a stop block outside. We're getting the ball pitched, and our little receiver can't block that guy. Yes, we'll come back and throw the vertical off of it, but an adjustment we'll make is we'll go ahead and crack this guy. He's going to be scraping now, all right, to try to change the assignment up. So now we're reading here, and we will pitch here. We're going to look at what is our best matchup. Can we better stalk block that DB? Or would we be better off cracking that linebacker and pitching off it? If I can't stalk block this guy, I'm going to crack that backer and let's pitch off of him.
If we were in a 3-deep look, his gap starts in the D gap, which is on the hip of that guy, so he's coming down. So he would slow play, try to play quarterback and pitch with an alley-free safety. Makes it tough. That makes it tough because if he crack and go, you're suspect there. We would change coverages to get more people in numbers on each side to balance up with a cover 2 look so that we can have numbers and a safety valve of the deep ball.
We're going to go play action. Again, they're involved in the secondary. 2 things we're going to do. If we're stalking here and we're getting the ball pitched off the linebacker and that guy's making a play, we're going to come back and go our vertical game, here to here. All right, if we're cracking here, pitching here, and the safety's running the alley, we're going to go post, cracking, seam right here. So that's what we're going to try to do next if these are the guys attacking us.
And, Coach, of course, that's our third installment of Chalk Wars with you and Coach Davis. And, I always thought it was interesting that you guys kind of strategize against each other during the spring, but that really does help coming up in the fall. Great minds think alike and that kind of thing, and knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses. So when you prepare for the games that count in the fall, you kind of get an edge. It's one big chess match, I guess.
It is. It really doesn't matter what offense or what defense you run. The fundamentals are the same. And some people run spread, some people run wishbone, some people run I formation. But we're a 3-3 defense. You've had 4-3 defenses, 3-4s, 4-2, whatever. But the fundamentals of all of them are basically the same. You have to squeeze and eliminate gaps. You have to scrape your linebackers. You have to stop offenses from inside out. Offensively, you have to establish what it is you're going to do, and then what does the defense do to take that away? And then unless you're just running plays. Some people will say, well, run this play. Well, how do they fit? How do the plays fit? You've got to establish an identity, what you are, and then what are they doing to counteract what it is that you're doing, and what do you have to attack that? Then you got to have players to execute it. And we've been blessed to have really good players to execute the offense.
I.e. the Jimmies and Joes.
The
right?
Jimmies and Joes. The Jimmies and Joes are the guys that get out there and execute. You can have the greatest strategy in the world, but the tactics and the operations are what makes it happen. And we've been blessed to have great Jimmies and Joes, great football players, and they're the ones that go out and execute the tactics and the operations to make all the strategy work.
Very good. So hope you enjoy that next segment of Chalk Wars with Coach Davis and Coach Campbell. So right now we get a quasi bye week, I guess you could say. We'll have about 8 days to get ready for the big game against Colin. And this is the first time we've had that this year. There's been times in the past where we've had a short week and then a long week, maybe then a short week. This is the first time I had a chance to rest a little bit, maybe heal up on the injury front, and also get our minds right for the big homecoming game against Colin.
Yeah, biggest game of the year because it's the next game, and there's a lot riding on it with the South Division and everything along those lines. And you're right, Bill. Last year I think we played 4 to 5 Saturday football games, and then by the time the playoffs, we played 2 Saturday playoff games. I think we wound up with 6 to 7. It was at least 6, maybe 7 Saturday games. This year this will be our first Saturday game, which it allows us to be able to get some recruiting done next week as well on a Friday, to get out and be able to see the area high school guys during the day. Right now we've been, when you play on Thursday, you got to work all the way up until, as far as film breakdown, third downs, red zone, short yardage, all that stuff. You don't get out into the high schools during the week. This will allow us to have a long week of preparation, and it'll allow us to be able to get out into the high schools on Friday. So it's always, I like Saturday games because it's a longer week and you can get a lot more accomplished.
Plus, it feels like college football, too, playing on a Saturday. Alabama's playing and we're playing, or whatever. So that makes it kind of neat.
Yeah, it does. Saturday games are always good. And, the parents maybe from far off, since the state's opened up, now you've got guys that may be, their folks are 2 or 3, maybe 4 hours from here. And Saturdays allows them to be able to get here and get back home without having to miss a work day and all that. So that's very, very good, too.
Helps me get some sleep as well. And, of course, coming up next week, and you probably get a little extra shut-eye during the week. That game will be on Saturday, October 19th. You can watch it on streaming video on MGCCBulldogs.com. Now, we won't be on radio that week because Ole Miss is playing at the same time we are, but we will be streaming on MGCCBulldogs.com. A huge one, Gulf Coast and Colin. And next week on Bulldog Blitz, we'll take a look at that one a little more in depth. But right now, we'll celebrate. We'll do the 24-hour rule with the 48-7 win over Southwest as the Bulldogs go to 6-1 on the year. For head coach Steve Campbell, I'm Bill Snyder. Thanks for watching Bulldog Blitz. As always, have a great night and a great weekend.
1, 2, 3.